I'll be reacting to Mushoku Tensei Jobless Reincarnation Season 2, Episode 2 in 1-0 kill. Crunchyroll's upset for good measure. Yo, is he okay in the mind? Or did he actually name his kneecaps that? Oh, okay. Now I get it. Hopefully it's a positive repetition. Oh, okay, that's actually some dang Wolverine humor, I ain't gonna lie. And I like it too, actually. And what I like about this too is if Rudy shows up any feats of strength, you'll feel like his strength truly is earned too. Oh, get a look at this small ass looking fucking prick. Well, damn. But then again, some people are just born with the edgy look on their freaking face, so it makes you wonder, can anything make these edgy mofos happy at all? And that's actually pretty cool because in a roundabout way, people are at least willing to inform him if his mother's around. So that's already kind of a success. But even if it takes a while, he'll at least gain more strength, more experiences, get to know more people. Yes! Every single time mentions the name Roxy. Y'all know why I have to be fucking happy. Oh, sup, Sparrow Matt. And also sup, Danny Witz. But yeah, every single time I hear that name, y'all know why I get excited. There's a reason why I bought her over the others. I'm just saying. Pretty nice. I like the insert song we've got. Because the series doesn't need it, when having it, it enhances the scene more than it normally would. Because I seem like this could work with conventional music, but an instant song's like, oh man, it makes it a little bit more memorable. Okay, you know what? Oh, yeah. Even though you see those two, those that seemingly falling couple there in the background, that was cute. I'm sure if Roxy were here, she would probably be proud of Rudius. No, she definitely would be. Just seeing Rudius helping out others, Rudius not acting like a pervert would definitely make her proud. Rama, are you watching ahead? Because I haven't seen any character on the screen that hates Rudius yet. You must be ahead. Now, where's that lady that doesn't like our boy Rudius? And so it's like, you're a little bit ahead, right? Oh, and hey, nothing wrong with that, though. You can at least do a little bit more things with the groups than in comparison to if he was doing things solo. Damn, this girl's got some attitude. Holy cow. How does she want him back? Rude? Perverted? She wants a border greeting with a fucking ass cheek slap every single time then, and she doesn't like politeness? I mean, what does this one want? I'm serious. Oh shit. I mean, Sparma, it's tsundere girls. It's best not to think about what they want too much. It's best just to accept some of the funny shenanigans that go on as a matter of fact. That is all. Oh! I gotta admit that that actually was some smooth shit right there. Hmm. Feels like there can be action any moment now. My next problem, it's Rudius. It was bound to happen eventually. At least he wasn't slapped, though. I mean, down in Witch, she probably just doesn't like some Rudius's demeanor down in Witch. I mean, some people are like that. No matter how hard you try, you're just not going to make them like you. As for this series, knows how to have some dang spectacular music. It probably keeps on happening because they have shitty ass fucking luck. I mean, you can't really chalk it up to more than just really shitty fucking bad luck at this point. Because I mean, what else could it be at that point? Kind of like, oh, oh, so we got him in the eye. Woo! That was epic. Yeah, I still like how this podcast animation still looks nice. And saying that, it feels like it skips frames a little bit. Like when she jumped with the blade, it wasn't terrible per se. It just felt like some of the animation looked a little bit incomplete. Like, well, for the most part, the animation and for the fight scenes in this episode looked good per se, but it feels like in some shots there's a lack of in betweens for the most part. Yeah, okay, that guy looked kind of crazy. Straight up, he looks like a potential serial killer, bruh. Whew. Man, and man, oh, huh, man. Speaking of which, I haven't mentioned this yet, but there wasn't any transitionary episode. Now I'm thinking about it, with Rudius doing all these jobs and getting close with other people. It just felt like it went a little bit too quick now that I think about it. Overall, still an enjoyable episode though, but just feels like this episode doesn't have, say, the same particular care you'd see in some of the earlier episodes of season one. At least that's the vibe I get. Because remember in season one, they would like write things meticulously, at least in comparison to how season two is handling things so far, anyway. Again, nothing bad. It kind of does Dining Wits to an extent. Straight up. That's from I gotta remember this is Mushoku Tensei. It's an exception, not the rule, when a character in the series is actually polite. If a character's polite, then that would feel like a fucking miracle, all things considered. That is damn true right there. Yeah, honestly, Sora may talk like that sometimes, but she obviously does really care. Problem that it's just called you can't really impress everyone's problem, man. Sometimes no matter what you do towards a person or for a person, you are never gonna really get on their good side. That's just a fact of life. Would it really have? Things would have probably escalated further if they didn't show up. I'd say Sarah should be thanking her lucky stars things ended up the way they did. I'll probably like that when he's younger. Hell, the dude does have a fucking striking resemblance to Paul. And good call Daniel with because even our boy Rudius was thinking this guy. He was wondering this guy resembled Paul when he was younger. So hey, you were on the money here, Daniel Witz. Ahead of the curve, actually. I think if he's apologizing, he'd have better results if he did it when he wasn't drunk. Oh man, that's because our boys are productive, Daniel Witz. I don't blame one bit. He's just a pro at this point. The fuck? Okay, this guy's sounding like the type of person who'd be fucking inching for a beatdown. I don't know, but he's trying to find his family. That's probably the opposite of trying to run away from it. I swear, I wouldn't mind seeing our boy beat this guy up. No, I want to see mom. I want to see where he's put the work in this fucker. Woo! That'd be fucking glorious. If this had been the Rudius of season one, he would have been all over him. But I'm not gonna blame Rudius because when you get older, sometimes yes, your mind tells yourself try not to get triggered too easily. I kind of agree with the Danowitz. Like, he had all the right of fucking putting this guy on the fucking ground. But at the same time, I understand why he wouldn't do anything because Rudius is trying to build up a positive reputation here. But regardless, though, yeah, I mean, I agree. He's being too passive. Even if he's trying to build up a positive reputation, there is such a thing as taking on a little bit too much bullshit. Hmm. That's a damn good question. Yes, I feel like everyone almost has bad luck in this series. Yeah, at certain points, problem that it's what I've been saying. It feels a little bit too quick sometimes. Like it would have been nice to see Rudy has taken a few on jobs to build up his reputation a bit, increase his reputation among the townsfolk, and it sped through that. Now speeding through this, I feel like this episode, Mushoku Tensei's problem that's going a little bit too quick now. And it doesn't help that the animation doesn't look as pristine as season one does. It's still looking above average, above your conventional anime, but it's not up to the standards of season one visually. Pretty much so far when it comes to Mushoku Tensei season two, it feels like it's not handled delicately like season one was. And like every sense of the word. Again, I still enjoy it. I feel the same way too. Wait, what the? Oh. Okay, man, I do like how it does portray his extra strength though, with all those beasts being skewered. It's a nice scene that shows off a little bit more of his feats, so to speak. And that I could really get behind. Okay, now, who's Mimir again? Oh yeah, yeah, he's part of their party. The other thing about this series, it's like it obviously wants us to care about Mimir, and I remember he was in the previous episode. This would have had more weight if they would have told us more, if they would have shown off more of Mimir. Like, honestly, this series wants us to care about this guy, but what's the point if we never got to know Mimir at all? But and the thing is, then it was Mimir was shown off in the previous episode. Okay, now this is beautifully animated. But honestly, though, this series is like having all this sad music that Mimir died, and I'm like, Mimir was only shown off for like maybe a few seconds in the previous episode. Now expects me to give a shit about him with like sad music. I'm like, no, Mushoku Tensei, you haven't earned the right to make me feel anything from Mimir. Literally, thankfully, have multiple fucking screens because I actually had to look up on my other screen who the fuck he was, and I'm like, oh yeah, it's the guy with the green fucking hair introduced in the previous episode. No wonder I didn't fucking remember him. I mean, how was I even gonna fucking remember him if they only showed him off for a few seconds in the pre? Literally had to look up who the fuck he was. At least with Sarah, though, I'll give the writers this. At least with Sarah, they have given her characterization. At least she has more than Mimir. At least if Sarah, I mean, I don't want Sarah to die. But if she were to die, I would at least feel something. Versus Mimir, where he was just showing off for like a few seconds, then he fucking died. And I'm like, well, okay, guess it's just some random dude that just died. Not sad and didn't feel happy, just completely indifferent to the news of his death. Like the impact of Mir's death impacted me as much as the impact of a death of a broken spider. It wouldn't have been jack shit for me. And this is a big contrast from the Mushoku Tensei season one because in Mushoku Tensei season one, it would make me care even when it was kind of like some of the smaller things. Here it's like, oh, there's someone that died. Like I felt more sorry for those kids that died when Rudius told one of his friends not to save the kids. Okay, that's a cute little smile from Sarah. But I felt more weight for that for like the kids dying in Mushoku Tensei season one than Mimir dying. And that's because season one paced things a lot more slowly in comparison. I will give the episode this problem that Sarah actually now being a little bit more gung ho when it comes to Rudius, it feels earned because they built up the fact that Sarah wasn't really the biggest fan of Rudius. So hey, seeing her actually be at Rudius' side here is actually earned. Doesn't feel like an ass pull. I dig it actually. Straight up, I do. I like this, seeing like Rudius humble moments like this. This really does feel legitimately earned. That's what I'm telling y'all. It would have been nice to see more of his interactions with Counter Arrow. We only really saw him interact with Counter Arrow for one episode. Like this goodbye, it literally feels like he just barely saw them. Then this episode happens, and now he's about to leave them. I feel like there should have been showing more of his interactions with Counter Arrow. The only character in Counter Arrow that felt like a real character was just Sada. Everyone else was like, "Oh yeah, they just breezed through it." That's what I'm saying. I agree with this part on that. Well, I know about Sarah. That's it. That's the only character in Counter Arrow I actually care about. Everyone else, why should I care? Why should I even give a shit? You say I love you? This felt like one of the weakest Mushoku Tensei episodes I've ever seen, and it wasn't bad. But there was a lot of issues with this. It rushed the stuff with the count. I'm an anime only. I don't read the novels, but it felt rushed. I never felt this way seeing season one. Literally introduced Counter Arrow. Then the next moment, oh, he's about to separate. And I'm like, okay, I feel no weight. Then they want me to obviously care about Mimir dying because they have all the music playing, but I'm like, no, writers, y'all didn't even bother building up Mimir. Now you're trying to have some fucking sad music that he died? Well, no, I don't give a fuck about him. The only person I care about in the counter was just Sarah. That's it. Everyone else, I don't care. And that's the issue because in season one even made me care about the minor characters. Hell, what was that character that was in the episode that was in Eris's episode? That one male character? I cared more about that character than most of the Counter Arrow characters. That's why the pacing, it felt too quick. The animation quality, while it was good, it wasn't great. Sometimes it felt like the animation was skipping frames. And I'm like, wait, what? Now, don't get me wrong. There are some moments of brilliance in the visuals here and there. But for the most part, it felt like the animation stuff was stretched a little bit too thin this week. I'd say the only thing exceptional was the voice acting. And that's why if I had to rate this episode on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being invisible, 5 being exceptional, I'll give it a 6 out of 10. It's slightly above average, but only because they gave Sora a lot of character development, and it was cool getting to see a few fights here and there. But I need to see more though. I need to see some improvement. He's the guy with the green hair spiral mat. That's who he is. Because that's pretty much it. But overall, this episode was rushed. The animation lacked polish. It wasn't bad, but it didn't live up to the Mushoku Tensei standards that season 1 set. Wasn't even anywhere near close to those standards. And that's how I felt about this episode. In a nutshell, the execution was lacking. And saying that, I'm still going to watch the next episode. It's just that now my expectations are going to be significantly lower. But anyways, pretty much, that's the only character I cared about from the counter arrows, just Sora. But anyways, thank you, Spider-Man, Danny Woodson, and everyone else for watching my video, and I hope you have a great day or night, y'all. Bye-bye.